This is slightly confusing. Is it misleading, or are we missing something? Or is there something that we just haven't seen but it's all in front of us? I don't really sure what to believe, to be honest. However, we are finally getting into a little bit more personality of the water god. Although the ending of this chapter seems to suggest that it's not the real water god. I guess time will tell what it is. Yes, this is me, the Angry Anime Fan, and finally we have Fairytale 100 Years Quest 8. Waiting each 2 weeks is actually beginning to get a little aggravating. The chapters are not slowing down in awesomeness after all. So well, either way, the Angry Anime Fan here to bring you it. As the water god stands before all the humans, Kiria immediately wants to, of course, fight, but her comrade says that they should do it with a plan. Of course, she arrogantly believes she can, but then suddenly she's teleported away with ash magic as the other guy says goodbye. After that, the water god approaches Natsu and wonders if he has come to slay him. And Natsu is immediately and just honestly say that if you are a bad guy, we will, but we want to find out if you are, because the job we are taking requires to seal the 5 dragons. And it turns out the water god really do know of Elf Syria, and he hasn't given up. So, when the guy wonders if they really are, they don't have to seal him. Suddenly, the water god says that you should seal me. I must be sealed. But then the water god says to Kashima, the innkeeper, that they are now his guests, so no more impoliteness. So he takes them to the water palace, where he even disputes when this jellyfish up form. That was kind of cute. And then we meet the woman that we saw a long time ago, which her name is Caramel, and it turns out that she is not a dragon. She is actually a human somehow that also knows about Elfseria. Well, the old guy. Probably she knows about that because of the water god. Well, either way, of course, Camellia just thinks that they cannot handle the water god, but then he dismisses her and tells he will handle this from a long time, as he begins to show the many things he has, including underwater farm, medical facility for fishes, and water tower. Of course, the gangs are all moved by all of this. But then suddenly the water god changes his tone and says that I may not have looked like it, but I killed many humans in the past. And indeed proves the clue that I had a feel. Well, no, I did not have a feeling. I guess it's wrong to say, but there were some hints that maybe one of the reasons why Elfsteria wants to seal these dragons is because they had hurt him in the past. And it turns out that it's true, because the water god says that it's very likely that this water god and all the other of the 5 gods killed his family and friends. And he liked to do a kill. He lived in a world where the strong hunted the weak. And Caramil, the secretary, was one of the first people that actually changed the water god, at least according to him. At first he wanted to eat her, but he then became attached to her, and then it began to a path of coexistence. And even though he want to live in this world, he must disappear from this world, because according to him, the reason why the city of Elmia is like it is because it's a side effect of the water god's power, and he can no longer control it. The fish were in the world in that town actually weren't fish that became human. It was the opposite. They were humans that became fish, that adapted to their underwater life with using magic. And they cannot leave because of the water god dragon Faith. The atrocities they committed in the past has been passed down as miracles for them, at least how the water god says it. And they cannot. And asking the water god if they can leave is asking like steal away their lives. And eventually the water god's power will go out of control. Therefore, he has to be contained, and somehow. So he has somehow been waiting for people that can kill him. But before he had done that, he has to do something about his greatest miscalculation and his worst nightmare. What that is, we are not sure, but the ending of this chapter really puts a lot of question in if this really is the true water god. Because we then see the Diabolos guild and their ship, as we also see someone I think is the leader. I don't know if this is the guild master, but it's truly someone who is also uh, well, at least controlling. Because apparent to him, he teleported Curia away because the situation I feel in the water god's power had changed, and he says he must not be eaten. But his words are, "Do you think you could deceive the dragon eaters? You false water god dragon." So what is this? Well, either way, this guy is the Iskarion, the corpse dragon. He somehow has an ash-like ability similar to corpsing. Whatever the Diabolos are, I think it's clear we can see them as the antagonists now. They just want to eat dragons. But what is the water god? What does this final line mean? You false water god dragon. What does that even mean? That this is not the dragon also? Are you telling me that this human form dragon is also a proxy of the dragon god? Or is there something else? After all, the water god dragon is mentioning something about his greatest miscalculation and worst nightmare, and he's saying his powers are out of hand. Not to mention, for some strange reason, he is in a human form, like Acnologia, but Acnologia was a human that became a dragon. There is something missing here that I think I am diving too deep in and analyzing. Are you trying to say it's either this is not the real water dragon god after all, or it is, but his power has made him, according to the Diabolos Guild, a false dragon god because he's no longer considered a real dragon because he has lost his power. Maybe he discarded a piece of his power and that power has been made flesh. If this could also mean another reason why they must be sealed and why they haven't conquered the other world if they are as strong as Acnologia. Their powers are getting out of control. So yeah, this brought some questions, and I think I'm overthinking this a little bit. What am I missing? What does that corpse dragon Scarion rider mean? I'm not sure. But the thing is, the title is actually saying, what is this nightmare that troubles the water god dragon? So, whatever the thing is that the corpse dragon is talking about, it's, uh, it's something else. They're not saying that he is a false proxy as well, but maybe something else. Either way, I think we can consider the Aboros Guild as the real antagonist right now. But if the water god must be slain and sealed, then why can't he just let someone do that? Yeah, a confusing chapter, but good nonetheless. You can like and subscribe and give me your thoughts if you have any.